Hello. Right, whilst the paint's drying on Thunderbird 2, I thought I'd just quickly show you this Fireball XL5 annual. And I'll put a link in the description to a primer about Fireball XL5 if you've never heard of it. Now this annual dates from 1965, I believe, and the cover features Steve Zodiac and Venus escaping an explosion on their hoverbike. And we all wanted hoverbikes by now, didn't we? Alright, as you can see, it's got the usual sort of like a very nice colourful 60s artwork. Now these annuals are contemporary to the Eagle annuals I've previously shown you, but the quality is just not quite as good, to be honest. The Eagle annuals are very sort of diverse range of material, whereas these are sort of more typical fluff. I'm just hiding the name of the previous owner, just in case he's watching this and gets embarrassed. So just showing you the credits for the annual. Sorry, it was such a clumsy cut on my part. And there you go, Fireball XL5 taking off on its ski slope arrangement. It was a bit like the film When Worlds Collide. The spacecraft and that would go off down a big slide and sort of jump over a hill and drop at this rocket sled to take off, and this is exactly how Fireball XL5 took off. So I'll just show you the contents. You've got Crust of Death, which slightly sounds like a medical condition. Okay, and you've got all your stories, and you've got artwork of sort of like scenes for the stories. And like all good annuals, it has some puzzles and games, but they're not as hard as the Eagle annual ones. Okay, so over the page we have our first story, which is in colour. Not all of the annuals in colour, and I'll just show you the date there. AP Films, 1965. If I go back to it, yeah, because it wasn't in focus. ATV, now you have to be a certain age to remember ATV. Now ATV was the independent TV broadcaster for the Midlands, and so I always remember the 3-colour logo and the tune. And funnily enough, in a local department store, when they're making an announcement over the tannoy, they use the same tune, and it always triggers my memory. The little things, it's like if you say from London, you'd remember Thames Television and all that. I don't even know if Thames Television is still going. But ATV was the one for the Midlands. So there you go. So that's dating me horribly. Okay, so there's lots of nice colours, and again, it's the future envisaged from 1960s. So I'm just showing you some of the artwork here. I'm just going to flick through the colour story there, and so if you really want to look closely, you can always pause the video and see what you think of it. So this, as I say, is 1965. So this annual's a bit tatty, and I got it from a charity shop back in the... I had a period in the 80s of going to charity shops and buying annuals. Now I don't know if you've noticed, but at the bottom of the page there's something quite interesting here. You see it says FA B. Now we all know, we've heard that before. So this is for Thunderbirds. So this, I don't know if this is someone's name or what, or is it just a coincidence? So there you go, that's an interesting little snippet. Now the paper this annual's made of is quite thick, and actually what's quite interesting is the thickness of the pages varies. So this one page I thought was 2 pages stuck together, but it's not. It's just really thick paper for some weird reason. So as you can see, most of the book is either in format of colour, full colour, or like a single colour, you could argue, I suppose, and black and white format. There you go, fish in a tank. It's all going to go wrong. Now I think Fireball XL5 ran for something like 40 episodes, and they were all black and white. However, if you look on YouTube, there is a colourised episode which looks quite good. Now, I don't know if that was actually filmed or it is actually just a bit of computer colouring, but it does exist anyway. So I'll give you an idea what it would look like. Frozen Planet story. Now I think on here somewhere there's some pictures that look a bit like the Mekon from Dan Dare. It's in here somewhere. There you go. Now you've got obviously the enlarged head thing was obviously like a big Dan Dare character, but obviously there was a 50s or 60s American sci-fi film with people with big heads, but I can't remember what on earth that was called now off the top of my head. I should have looked this up before recording this. There you go, Great Asteroids. Right, so what else have we got in here now? Oh yeah, colouring. Now have you noticed that the young lad who had this book for Christmas, he only got as far as colouring in one colour? And we've all been there. You know, like we've lost the will to do something very early on. And that building on the right actually spins in Fireball XL5. So you can imagine people in it getting a bit sick. That's just my observation. No, I just thought it was interesting that the previous owner of this annual got bored at one colour in the colouring in, but spent enough time to do that. So there you go. Right, as I say, the paper on this is very thick. It's like more like card almost. There was also quite a lot of if you watch an episode now, you think there's quite a lot of casual sexism as well. Which I can't imagine being very popular now with getting programmes made. Okay, so should we all take Venus's quiz? All right, so I know I've already done this. You see, I've seen the answers. So anyway, so let's see how well you guys can do on this. Okay, so there's your questions. And there's some pictures to help you. Although you've also got to remember as well, this is so early, that rocket's not right. But the surface-to-air missile is. So there you go. There you go. I'll pause that on there. If you want to, you can just zip forward through that a little bit. Okay, and there's a crossword, which is strangely undone. Given the Pearl lad's giving up on the colouring, I'm not surprised. Does that sound harsh? I don't know. There you go. So you can always pause these if you want to have a go at the crossword. Now this is the sort of thing that probably gives book collectors a headache. There's a page in the book which is meant to be cut out and stuck onto a piece of cardboard to be cut up to make a jigsaw puzzle. So no doubt there are books of these knocking about which have lost this page. But then again, I think if most kids would have cut their books up, would have probably done worse to it anyway. So as you can see, it's like fairly typical annual. Mixture of cartoons and stories. I wouldn't say particularly educational the way that, say, The Eagle was, but I'm sure at the time you'd have been very pleased to have gotten this annual when you were a little kid. The Lazoon. So the Lazoon is the little monkey-style creature that you sometimes see on XL5, and there's some nice artwork in this annual. So some more colour, I think, coming up. So you've got some nice colour illustrations now. Now look at this spaceship. It's going to have an accident. Alright, so there's your spaceship coming into land, and it has a bit of a crash. Now to me, I think that looks fatal. Alright, because look what's got crushed up, right? But lo and behold, the character comes out of it unhurt. I think that's just stretching things a bit there. There you go, suspension of disbelief. So anyway, so lots of lovely colour. And here is the end paper with a nice illustration of Fireball XL5 flying away into the distance, and the solution to the crossword, which I'll show you just in case you were worried about it. You can pause that. So there you go, 1965 Fireball XL5 annual. And this was, Fireball XL5 was the second supermarionation that Gerry Anderson did. So there you go, I hope you found that interesting. Leave us a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.